Streaming.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we are live. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about characters and perspective and just having fun, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go ahead and chuck on TikTok.
Hey, Junior. Hey, Stardust. Nearly first, but you're pretty close.
There we go.
No second. Yep. Hey, Islander.
Hello, Stardust Islander, Junior, awesome. First, rip.
Oh.
Not quite.
Almost.
Almost.
Nearly.
Can I get a first? Nashi, hello.
Hey, Michi.
We went out today and drew in a Starbucks from life.
It was really fun.
Had a good time, yeah.
Although I did mostly just perspective homework or
Yeah.
kind of just exercises.
Chat, we have an announcement to make. You, the few who are here early, get to hear it, and we're going to gatekeep everybody else. We might get another cat. We might get a kitty, and we might get a very, very handsome,
Very attractive.
very handsome kitty. Oh, the Poppy meows.
Poppy's meowing.
Yeah, we were looking at different adoption centers, and oh my goodness, look at this profile.
That profile.
That's a
is-
good looking
that's a
profile.
good-looking
Very different than
profile.
Poppy.
Very different.
Poppy has the anime face. This cat has like a Roman nose.
I can totally imagine what his face looks
Speak
like.
of the devil. Speak of the Poppy devil. You heard us talking about getting a little brother for you?
Little brother. This is how I imagine his face to look.
Hi.
He looks. I imagine him to look very handsome, and I imagine his head, his hair to kind of be slicked back like this.
Jake, yeah. Saturn. There's a chat member that you would probably like.
Mm-hmm.
You're so accurate at drawing. Awesome.
Oh, thank you, Jake. Yeah.
Maybe save the kitties. Hey, Rosie Sketches. Poppy is getting a friend. Maybe. We haven't decided yet. We've been looking around. Originally, we wanted a kitten, but we went to this adoption place, and there was a cat.
That was very sweet.
Very, 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 very sweet.
Very
I think he's
attractive.
3,
Yeah, I think he's. I thought he was 2.
2 or 3. I don't remember.
This is what I imagine him to look like, Colton.
Giga Chat. Ooh yeah. Just a good-looking cat.
Yeah.
Very different than Poppy's silhouette.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and he's a lot bigger too.
He's a good amount bigger now.
Mm-hmm. Well, thanks, Dahlia, for the watermelon.
Yes.
I can't wait to eat him. I'm more of the watermelon enjoyer.
Christina really likes watermelon.
Mm-hmm.
Kitty.
Oh.
I don't really care. She's fine.
Okay.
Hello there. Hello there. Save the kitties. Yes. Special privileges. Yeah, maybe. The cat's getting some dental
work.
checkup. Getting a dental checkup. Kitty, you are soft and fluffy today.
She's like, I need some space to lay on the lap.
Yeah, she's really wanting to crawl around there. I lowered the desk a little bit.
So you can kind of see her. Hey, Rosie. I can't do math. I thought my cat was 20 when he was 15.
She's walking all around the desk. I need my sippy cup though.
Okay, Kitty. I don't think you should be on the...
Yeah.
Just stay
no,
still.
that's my drink.
Stay there. Just stay there. Stay there. Sorry, Kitty. You can't disrupt my drawing today.
She don't want to behave, does she?
She's just gonna have... You just have to press her down so she just stays.
Oh, she's literally flopped on my hand.
Poppy wants a brother. Do you want a brother, Poppy?
Maybe.
Oh, yes.
Oh yeah, well, we're gonna be looking around, and that cat was so sweet.
Just...
All right, Kitty. I'm unfortunately gonna have to say that you're gonna have to either
Be
get
trapped?
down or behave. You want to sit right here?
Yeah, just sit right there.
I feel like we need like a little bed right there.
I know. Wouldn't it be nice? We could have one of those cushions.
Yeah. Hello, Co.
Co.
We generally don't do character requests and stuff.
Yeah.
Not from existing IPs and all that. I have been
I really feel like I need like a character and perspective
You
boot
little
camp.
pest.
Oh.
She looks up. She's like,
that's-
"Did you just roll your eyes at me?
She, I
Just roll
think
your
she
little
did.
kitty eyes at me."
Or a cat tower for the right next to the desk. You know
Kitty,
you're not supposed
Do
to
you
be
want me to
here.
get like a pillow? Oh, how
Yeah,
about this?
get one of those
How about I try this?
Oh, like
She
put a
loves
box.
boxes. Kitty, look.
Go,
Here.
go put a box. Go
Kitty.
in that box,
Look.
kitty.
Kitty, kitty, look.
Hey, Soup Can Kid. Have you pinged the server? Not yet. Yeah,
What do you think of that?
I think that's a nice little spot.
Is that okay? Is that acceptable for you, princess?
She's so cute.
All right.
Hey, Lindsay. I definitely need a characters and perspective boot camp for myself. I feel like a lot of the
edge of
time.
her head a little bit. Okay.
Oh.
Hello, everybody. Yeah, sorry. I have not pinged because I'm getting cat attacked.
Everywhere. Cat attack.
Kid attacked.
Kit tacked.
Kitten attacked.
I actually,
not
well,
right.
I've drawn a little bit today, but not enough to be like, ooh, this is like
That's
my
right.
lines are doing good. How's everyone doing today? What's everyone's day like? Is anyone getting closer to summer vacation? I mean, we're in May now. I wonder if summer vacation started for some of you guys. Great, but rainy. Oh, rainy's great. Trash can, thank you for sharing the live. Good. We are doing good. It was really fun going to Starbucks and
Content updates.
doing and a live, drawing from life.
Uh-oh.
What
Now
happened?
everybody knows that's the thumbnail.
Now people might know. That's great. That's great, Dahlia.
Characters and perspective. There we go. Yes, and Noah dual enrolled. Awesome. Don't forget also we got some live classes coming up during the summer if you want to get better at art.
Yep, and have your own art boot camp and improve and have an art glow up, then check it out.
Yep. Summer art glow up.
Mhm.
We got classes available to sign up. Ogden, how do you say your name? Because I've been trying to learn how to pronounce that name. Is it Serbian? There's a Serbian guy that I like, and he's an artist, and I don't know how to say his name. Ognen? Is that how you say it? Is it J silent? This is just an Apple Pencil Pro. It's
Yes.
Serbian.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's Serbian.
Okay. How do you say it? I'm so glad you showed up. This is an Apple Pencil Pro. I don't know how much they are. Maybe like $100 or something. How much are those?
I think $100.
100, 120, 30? I don't know exactly. Kitty.
My cat was trying to steal my turkey sandwich for my lunch. Oh no.
This is actually
Perfect.
Kitty.
Oh, that's good. That
I
was
just got her in the nick of
just
time.
got
Look,
her
her
in the nick of
tongue's
time.
coming out.
Oh, how cute. She's like right next to us, or right next to Colton. And
Nah, it's a
Next to
sound you don't ever use in English. Oh, rip.
oh, wait, is it?
So what you're saying is that there's no way.
There's no way that we can ever pronounce it.
There's no way I'll be able to say it.
What?
I think our books might just be delivered.
Really?
Did you go to art school? Yes. Thank you,
Yes.
Dahlia, for pinning that. Yes, we're running classes over the summer. We got an anatomy class on June 14th, starting for 6 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
No, you can, but you just need to hear it first.
Oh, okay. So, did you go to art school? Yes, we did both go to art school.
Yes.
Colton went to an art school in Singapore as well as in California, and I went to the same one in California as well. And that's where we got a lot of our education, and we also take a lot of online classes for ourselves as well.
It's an ad. Oh, that's so annoying. Okay, how to pronounce this?
I think it's like
Sorry, chat. You're probably listening to this with me.
Sherman. Thank you for the follow.
Ognian.
Oh, Ognian. Oh,
Ognian.
Okay, that's not too bad. Ognian.
Awesome. Is that right? Ognian? It's like Ognian. Like meow.
Ognian.
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 Surprise stream? No. Oh,
Actually,
we didn't stream yesterday. We
we did
pushed
not
it to today.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty close. Awesome. Yeah, I got one of my favorite artists. His name's Ognian Sporin. I don't know how to say his last name. Sporin. Thank you for the follow. If you have any questions, let us know. Skylar,
Yes.
thank you for the follow. Thank you for saying hi. Appreciate it.
And thank you for the follow, Ognian.
Yes.
You guys should be famous for your art. So oh, thank you, Avery.
Thank you, Avery.
Avery.
What did I say?
Avery. Avery. Slowly learning clips to do from YouTube. Awesome. Welcome back, Lau. How about the 0.5 perspective? Do you know what 0.5 perspective is? Colton?
What, huh?
0.5 perspective?
0.5 perspective? I'm not sure what you mean by 0.5 perspective. I guess she enjoys her little box. Maybe we'll just give her a little box there. Poppy crib.
Poppy crib? That's cute. That's good. Wide angle perspective would be 0.5? Fisheye lens? Oh, we're doing good, Ginny. Well, Colton is actually getting pretty good at fisheye lately.
iPhone 0.5 camera thing?
Oh, you mean like
You mean
zooming?
like a wide lens?
Like a wide lens. Yeah, we can do... I mean, Colton, if you're fine with that, you want to do a wide lens?
0.5 isn't really a thing. Cameras are in millimeters, generally. When you meant... Or I thought you were talking about a musician, not a literal artist. Yes, a literal artist. I wonder what 0.5... What is 0.5?
The only thing I think about is, like, you know how you zoom in or zoom out? They'll say, like, 1, 2.5 or something.
About a 13 millimeter focal length. Okay. Mm-hmm. Often referred to as the ultra-wide lens. Mm-hmm. Okay, so 0.5 is about a 13.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Ducky, bye. What art school? You mean, like, what art school we went to? Or do you mean, like, what art school do we hold? Like, what art classes we hold? Oh, yes? Okay.
Yeah, his art is really good.
Colton went to FZD School of Design, right? Fengshu School of Design?
Yep.
And he also went to Art Center, and I also went to Art Center College of Design as well. I didn't go for the full 4 years, but I went there for the first 3 terms. And now I mostly take online classes and stuff. What is today's topic? We're talking about characters and perspective today. So if you have any questions about any of these topics, then feel free to ask. Thank you so much. You're such a big influence. Thank you so much, love. Thank you. We try. I always thought that whenever it came to people in perspective, it felt so elusive. Ooh, look at cat hair on my pen. But once I started kind of getting a better hang of, like, what box am I looking at? Am I looking up or down at a box? And then just combining the forms, it became a lot easier. Very cool. I'm thinking about taking online classes for art. Oh, really, Rosie? Well, if you're interested in ours, you can check ours out.
Yeah. What's today's topic? Characters and perspective.
Mm-hmm. If you want to check it out, you can go to drawanime.com.
Yes. You can find our classes on there.
Yes.
We got 2 coming up if you want feedback on your work, if you want to learn about anatomy, if you want to learn about drawing characters, figure drawing, all that kind of stuff. We got a figure drawing class coming up in the middle of June 14th on Saturdays for 6 weeks.
Perspective from above. If you want to do that, yeah. Perspective, like a bird's eye. I'll just say perspective from above. And I feel like a lot of these Colton will teach because he's a lot better than I am. My perspective is weak. That's okay. Everyone starts somewhere.
I need to get the thing.
Hey, hi all from Australia. Missed a few recent lives, but been rewatching on YT. Nice, Kennedy. Australia, yep. Upside Down World, the Upside Down. Classes are 100% worth it. I've learned so much from both of them. Dahlia is definitely one of our star students. She works very, very hard, and she has definitely shown a lot of improvement. So I'm always, like, she's here always recommending our class while I recommend her as a student. She's always great. So yes, if you want to find any of our fully recorded classes or even our live classes that we're holding in June, you can go to this this website right here, drawyanime.com.
Ooh, here it is.
Oh, whoa, those are so cool. So, oh, thank you, Serenity, for the follow.
Ooh, these are fun.
Oh my gosh,
Oh,
wow,
those are
that's
nice.
amazing. Okay, you want to show it to stream?
No, they're not
Chat?
allowed.
They're
I'm
gate
kidding.
kept?
They're gate kept. Wow.
Wow, that's so amazing. So Colton got these books, and they're from an artist that he really respects, and and he actually came to our stream the other day, and it was like a huge fanboy moment for Colton, and he got his sketchbooks.
I really liked it.
Because they're print on demand, and they're so good.
I got a couple of his sketchbook collections. There's Daxi. That one's really fun. And here's Taipei 101, 36 views.
What's the best advice would you give for someone busy with work when it comes to art? Honestly, I would say, since you are busy and you have a life, it's not super realistic to just spend all your waking moment doing art. So I would say take and replace the time that you maybe are spending time on your phone or doing kind of like off time, and maybe dedicate that to drawing so you can milk out those minutes.
Yup.
Wow,
This
those
is,
are so
This
amazing.
is Gene Bond's stuff. This is his sketchbook collection, or his sketch collection. 36
Yep, Gene
views
Bond.
to Taipei 101. Yep.
Thank you, Rosie.
Very nice work. But he's got a lot of really good stuff in here. Very good stuff.
I would say when the passion comes, like the more passionate you are about art, the more you actually want to do the art, and the more you'll make time for it. So,
Yeah.
wow, those are so amazing.
Yeah, that's really nice. So he goes around all over the place and does sketching from observation in his sketchbook. And he took some of them and turned them into a book. This is all Taiwan.
That is so cool.
That's
Oh,
nice
his colors are awesome.
Yeah, it's
I
really
love his
nice
watercolor.
stuff. Traditional with watercolor and pen. That's nice stuff.
Any tips on keeping body proportions without thinking about 7 head size? Oh, that's a perfect question. Body
Proportions without thinking about 7 head size. That it's just gonna come from a lot of practice.
Jean's here.
Hello, yes, I love it. Yeah, we got a lot of perspective questions, so we're probably gonna do an interview and a collaborative stream with Gene Bond as well. We're gonna be setting something up pretty soon. Yes, I love it. This is so nice.
It is.
Really
it is
awesome
beautiful.
work. Yeah.
So I'll talk a little bit about proportions, and then we can go on to more like if you want to teach perspective. Totally fine.
Yeah.
So I used to think that when it comes to drawing people, this was the way how I was taught back then, and I don't really. I used to be like, oh well, that's not too bad, but
Yeah.
you're probably familiar with drawing like an 8-headed or 7-headed figure like this, where you draw a graph 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But thing is, when you actually draw the body, like how does it all fit? You know, not every head size is the same size, and so how do we even do this? So I found that this method at first was like, okay, I get it, but it's kind of elusive. So instead, there is a proportion method where you're you're dividing in halves and you're dividing in fourths. So, and I'm actually making a video on this right now, so you can use it as a reference for later. And it's almost being done, so that's good. So here, what you can do is you can start off with a line, divide it in half, the best you can. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time to get that right.
Hey Carla, this will probably answer it pretty well. How to draw a ribbon. We can talk about ribbons in a little bit.
Yeah, I'll write it down. Ribbons. Colin's really good at drawing ribbons.
Bow.
Or a bow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So most figure drawing classes that you'll take, a lot of the time, it's a good idea to start with the total height of the figure and then divide up that height.
Yep. So the top half is the upper body, the lower half is, or this lower part is the lower body, which includes the legs and the pelvis and the feet. And the good thing is, this is basically the same size, so you don't have to worry too much like, oh, well, how long do I make the legs, or how long do I make the upper body? It's like, well, they're the same length for the most part.
How much money to join your art class permanently? You mean the recorded one, the Anime Art School? Or do you mean the live one that we're going to be running in June? Yes, the Anime Art School, $497. And that comes with 7 different classes,
Mm-hmm.
and you have it forever.
Yep.
So it's basically like a college. It goes over figure drawing, a lot of anime character drawing, color, perspective, what else?
Painting.
Painting, rendering. I teach how to calculate drop shadows and cast shadows and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you wanna check it out.
So now you're going to. So this halfway point is the bottom of your pelvis or the pubic bone.
You can go and check it out at that link there.
Yes. So that way we know that the pubic bone is basically halfway from the top to the bottom of the body. Then you're going to divide this part in half, and this is the bottom of your kneecaps. And then the top half, you can divide this into thirds. So just try your best to divide this all into equal thirds like this.
Hey, Rogel.
Hey, Rogel. And the upper body, you can just think of it like dividing it into 3 equal squares. You can take the first box right here, divide that into thirds. 2/3 into this first box is your head. This is the approximate size of your head. Inside the second box is your rib cage. Halfway from this third box down is your pelvis. And there we got your upper body. It's a really simple proportional method that I use all the time. And this is the process that I do as well. Do you have more tutorials on how to make bodies, if it's possible to tell me? Carla, I'm actually making a video right now, so it's not done yet, but once it is up, you can subscribe to our YT channel. It's the same name.
Awesome. Caleb, finally got my first commission. War is over. Thank you guys for teaching me so much. Awesome.
That is
Congrats.
awesome. Congratulations.
Let us know how it goes.
Yeah. So here's your legs.
Hey, Potato.
Hey.
Hey, I'm not creative. Miss
Feet.
Mesa writes. Thank you for the follow.
Oh, thank you.
Lil Crow Venture, thanks for the follow. Charlie, thank you for the follow. Kalu, thank you for the follow.
So when you have this proportional method and you do this a bunch of times until you memorize it, now you're like, okay, I can maybe start off with the rib cage and the pelvis. And I'll be like, okay, this is 1 square. This is the second square, or this is the third square, I should say. Divide that in half. Here's my pelvis. And I know that my head is about, I can take this length and measure it up, and then take that 2/3 mark. And then I'm like, okay, now here is my head. And it becomes a lot easier than trying to be like, okay, well, how many heads tall is a rib cage? How many heads tall is a pelvis? It's just like, no, start with squares or start with dividing things instead. Oh, golden ratio, that's fun. Ooh, nice Potato. Can't wait to see it. Liz, thank you for the follow. So excited for that video. Oh, thank you. I actually think it's a really good video because I show you the process, like from start to finish, like proportion, like setting it up, making it, filling it in with volumes, and then making it look pretty, which is like adding anatomy and stuff. And I narrate how I do it. So I'm excited to put that video up. The Volleyball Legends audio? You mean this song? Or this piece? And this is literally how I would construct a bunch of figures, is just start with this and then I just expand upon it. So like, hey, now I'm adding my legs, and every time where I'm drawing the body, I'm checking to see my proportions are correct. So I take this length, literally use my hands or use my fingers to just gauge the length, drop it down. That looks about right. So once I've double checked, now I can continue to move on with the figure. Mm-hmm. And with the elbows, generally they swing out from the bottom of the rib cage, because if you tuck your arms to the side of your body, you can actually feel that your rib cage is like just at where your elbows are, the end of your rib cage, and then you can swing out from the pubic bone. There's your wrist, and there's your hands.
She's actually laying in her box for once.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. That's literally all that she needed.
That's wild.
That is wild. I actually got a tinkle. I'll be right back.
I might have to go kind of soon.
Oh.
I took a huge coffee earlier.
Yeah, I did too. We'll take turns then. I'll go first then.
Yeah, where's my... Do you see my iPad?
I don't know where
It looks like it's under here. What are you pawing about? There we go. Awesome. 23%. I need to plug this in. So how's it going? Who's blurry? I'm blurry. Quit that. There we go. I pressed. For some reason, it starts to spaz out sometimes. It goes, ugh. So how's everybody doing? Did you make any more grids? Yeah, we actually went, did a bit of life drawing today. We did a bit of drawn from life inside. Been doing a couple of those lately.
I'm back.
So helpful. Awesome. Lizzie, thank you for the follow. IPH2, thank you for the follow. Now up to 103 beans of the 150. Awesome. Nice work. That's very fun.
Do you need to go take a potty break?
Yeah, I guess I forgot.
Okay. I'm so glad that's helpful for you. I find that if you're going to draw people in perspective as well, you can also think about it like, let's say you draw the height and it's in a certain perspective or convergence. In order to find the midpoint, you can draw a rectangle. So this is like just pretend that this is the full height of a body. You can draw an X to each of the corners, and then here's your midline, and this midline goes towards that vanishing point. And so this is your halfway point. So now when you draw on the figure, you're like, okay, I know that this is my halfway point. This is where my pelvis ends. I can divide this into thirds. This is my upper body. Here's my head. And we can draw the body depending on this kind of rough estimate of where the grid is. And then here's my halfway point here. My legs, my kneecaps, my feet. And there we go. It's like a more advanced stick man. Really helpful for back views? Yeah, for sure. My friend's dream is to join your anime art school, so I'm helping her write a letter to her parents. Aw, that's so sweet.
That's awesome. Be sure to like the YT stream. Yes. Thank you, Crits.
Yes.
Every like helps. Every like counts.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to teach some perspective? Switch and teach? We can talk about wide lens or perspective from above or ribbons, whichever one you want. Unless you want to wait.
You can probably do ribbons if you want.
I can do ribbons real quick, or a bow. So I think any time that you're drawing ribbons, understand that you're working with something that's like bending back and forth. It's a three-dimensional form. And I like to think of grabbing a piece of paper or actually a ribbon and bending it and thinking about like, okay, what's the loop that these ribbons create? Right? It's like a ribbon that you can see from the front, goes into the back. We see the underside. And so if you don't show this, it's much harder to tell if this is a ribbon or not. We really want to see that bend or that little loop when it comes to ribbons. So let's say, for instance, a bow in a 3/4 view, for example, it's basically just in the front view, it's basically like a little like a rounded triangle with a little centerpiece that binds the bow together. So think of like Hello Kitty, the Hello Kitty bow, and look at the shape, look at the forms. There's a form that wraps around the center of the bow, and then you can also see inside of this ribbon right here. So just think of them like compound cylinders. And always think about that compression fold in the middle, because this is holding it together and squishing the ribbon together, so it creates these folds. It's the same technique for ruffles on clothes. Yeah, for sure. When it comes to ruffles, I like to think about how they're being made, right? So when it comes to ruffles, if you sew them yourself, it starts off with a flat piece of cloth. You sew 2 lines or 2 things, I guess, 2 threads, one across from each other, but you don't tie them or anything, because you're going to actually pull these from one side to the other. So when you pull these, it creates tension, which creates the ruffle. And the ruffle looks like small pipe folds, And I like to start by drawing the squiggle first because it helps me to visualize how big the ruffles are, how small they are they evenly spaced apart. And as you pull them in towards each other, it creates this tension in here, which creates that like balloon out effect. And then that's why a lot of the folds will gravitate towards the center and gets thinner here, and it comes out wider. So that's a ruffle. And it's very similar to a ribbon as well. And
Make sure you draw the back side as well.
Yep.
Don't forget, chat. If you draw multiple sides of things, it makes it
Have more
more
depth.
three-dimensional. Makes it have more depth.
That's why the ribbon works, is showing multiple sides.
You draw
Suit collars is the same way.
one side. You can draw. Am I in the frame?
There you are now.
You draw two sides. So here's 1, 2, 3. So here's two sides, and then you draw three sides. 3 is going to feel the closest, and 1 is going to feel the furthest. So, for example, in character design, they tend to pull out the parts that they want to stick out by adding more dimension to it.
Collar. A collar is basically a cylinder that you see the front of, and it has a little triangular shape inside.
It's like a little folded.
It's like a little folded over piece of paper. Yeah. So it's a cylinder. That's folded. Let me think of how to visualize it. So think of it like it's a piece of cloth that's bent over like this, and it's wrapping around a cylinder. It's like that. So it starts off like this. Then you fold it like that, and then you wrap it around. That's why you see this little triangle corner like that. Hey, Noel, I'm gonna draw a hooded cape.
Hello, Noel. Zenix, thank you for the follow.
Thank you. A hooded cape.
Hooded cape. Okay.
You wanna do it?
Nah, I'm not really the clothing guy.
A hooded cape is like a diaper fold. So diaper fold is where you have 2 tension points on your cloth. So that means it's held by 2 points. And then you'll see this nice U-shaped fold.
There you go.
Yes.
What, like this?
I guess so, like that. A hooded cape. So when you're drawing a hood, it's like this excess fabric that's draped over, and it creates like a little bowl, and then the rest is a little bit straighter. So this is like when the hood is off, and when the hood is on, it creates this nice teardrop shape around the shoulders, and it connects to the center. So always show a bit of that bulge, because it's resting on the head. Therefore, we'll create that triangle shape because it's resting and falling, and this is like a tension point. So it's creating the gravity. And then because there's excess fabric, it doesn't like to just go straight down like this, but rather think of it like, I think a good example is Raven from Teen Titans. She has that like triangular shape where you can see the inside of the hood. So always see the inside of the hood and always show it overlapping the shoulders just a little bit. So it looks like that. Saturn, I think you know how to draw duo poses at this point. You just need to draw it.
Yeah, just try it out. See how it goes.
I think you know how to draw it. You just got to do it. Build that confidence up. And this is also, very similar to drawing ribbons, because you're seeing the top side of the ribbon or the top side of the cloth and the inside of the cloth, and that creates depth. Oh, honestly, that's pretty cute. I like it. And then it drapes down and kind of creates these nice, like, looser ruffles. Like that. That's kind of a weird tangent on the kneecaps. But we'll do this for now.
How would you draw a torso twisting and turning?
I feel like you're pretty good at that.
Thinking about buying the anime art class. Awesome.
Oh, awesome.
That'd be awesome. Talk about hands. Hands were covered in a previous stream. You can go check the VODs on the YT channel. We're probably not going to talk about hands today.
Yeah, I don't feel like
We're
talking about
talking more about bodies perspective type deal.
Mm-hmm.
But there's been a lot of hand stuff in the past you can go find on our YT channel, Draw Anime Academy, and you can see all of our past live streams. I ask for hands every stream. Yes. There's usually at least a question or two about hands pretty much every stream.
Yeah.
They do get covered pretty often, though.
So when it comes to torsos twisting, you have basically two different boxes turning in different directions. You can have a box, which is, let's say, the rib cage, twisting one way, and the other twisting a different direction. And I think it's mostly rib cage and your spine doing the twisting, not much your pelvis. I mean, you can also twist a little bit, but mostly it's your rib cage. Your center line is here, and you can draw that center line like an S curve.
Mm-hmm.
This part is where it does get a little bit confusing, though, because you're like, okay, well, how do you show that twist? How would you do it?
So how I would show the twist is you just connect this corner to this corner, and this corner to the back corner, and it would tuck behind there.
Yep, there it goes.
And then, this corner to there, and that corner to that corner back there. And you'd get that nice twist. That nice twist going on in there.
Mm-hmm. Should I use blocksmith or circles with drawn the torso? Well, I wouldn't call it circles. They'd be more like spheres or cylinders.
Boxes are 3D, circles are 2D. So do you mean boxes or spheres?
I would say boxes are a lot easier to see the perspective of the body. Circles or spheres is like a little bit more vague. So here, like, we can tell this is the side of the body. So that means, okay, I could put my arm here. This is where the chest could be. So I'm like, okay, I can see the side of the chest. I can see the front of the chest. And it's very easy to tell, like, where the torso is turning. But if you're drawing more like an egg form, you have to think about the box as well. Like, think of it like a box covering, or kind of like a bounding box around
the body is very much like a rounded box.
It very much is.
The body is not very spherical.
Yeah.
The head is relatively spherical, but the head is also quite boxy.
It is. Like, I like drawing heads like this too, where it's slightly boxed.
People generally simplify the body into boxes because, number one, the body's more like a box, and number two, boxes have much clearer and more defined perspective a lot of the time.
Mm-hmm.
But people a lot of the time will have trouble drawing boxes. Awesome, Tiva Doodles.
Aww.
I got it from Draw Comics The Marvel Way. I heard that book's pretty good.
I feel like the entire body's a box but with curves. Yeah, basically that's what it is.
Basically just rounded boxes for the most part.
Mm-hmm. She's not in there. Oh, she's in there.
Taking a little nap.
That's cute.
Cute nap.
Cute little nap.
I said that Poppy smells like cute dust.
She does.
You sniff her and it's just like cute dust.
It's cute. It just smells cute. And it smells like dust. Jumping, like dunking a basketball.
Yeah, I pulled up a pose here.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, you basically got, I'm going to be drawn from a weird angle. But, I mean, honestly, this pose right here
You could use that
is
as a
pretty
base.
good for dunking a basketball.
There's a torso
you could
twist.
Go, the arm could go back. This arm could come forward. This legs could be like, could be like this. And then these could come back.
And jump. Yeah.
Right? Maybe something like that.
Oh, that looks nice.
And she could be dunking a basketball.
But maybe she's like twisting, so it's not like your classic dunking, but it's more like a little bit more pizzazz to it.
I mean, it'd be in the air, right? It'd basically just be like a free-floating pose where the person's getting ready. And it depends on what stage of the dunk. Like, did they just get done dunking, or are they about to? And they'd probably be like, pull back. That's what most of these look like. Or both hands, right?
Yeah.
Like that sort of thing. You know?
Well, you can even think of it in side view as well.
There you go.
So, like, actually, I was just going to do this one. Like, let's say this person is about to dunk.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I'm looking at is, okay, their pelvis is twisting like this. Their legs is accentuating this curve. And it's bent back. And then they have their arms up, holding the ball. And it feels like a lot of potential energy. Because there's a lot of, like, okay, it's like the about to phase.
Mm-hmm.
This, here's the net. Let me assume that I can draw a net. He looks like he's about to throw the ball because he's getting ready. There's there's not a lot of action yet. So that's one way that you can draw someone about to dunk a ball.
Mm-hmm. Then imagine it's like maybe something like that. Like
Yeah,
they're way up
yeah,
and
they're
they're
way up.
obviously going to get this in
Oh,
there.
yeah. And you know what else would be great? Speed lines.
Yeah, that could work.
Yep. Whoa, thank you, Tiva, for the $10 super chat.
Tiva, thank you very much. About time I did this lovely learning. Appreciate it. Thank you for the support.
Thank you.
He's going to make the shoot.
Yep, he's going to make the shoot. And it feels like there's a lot of energy already.
And as usual, you've got the bend and stretch of the torso and body. And then overall, there's this strong C-curve shape.
Yeah.
So, you know, your basic figure gesture drawing type stuff.
It also kind of reminds me of Bollywood. Oh, Lunatic.
Thank you for the galaxy.
You.
Where do you get all these TikTok coins from? Is that what they're called, coins? W Lunatic. Can we get some W's in the chat for Lunatic with the galaxy and Tiva Doodles as well?
Yes, thank you.
We absolutely need some W's for Tiva and W's for Lunatic. I want to see plenty of them because there's two. We need at least two worth. That's a combo. Yes. I just buy them. Is he gonna make the shoot?
Maybe. Maybe not.
Maybe.
So this one, I'm looking at a bunch of, pulled up a bunch of basketball dunking poses. And I noticed that there's like bent arms that are involved. So not super straight, but maybe just a little bit like he's cradling the ball and he's about to throw. So sometimes just showing that curve and having that go along with the gesture, it creates a nice S curve like this. And then for the most part, the legs, just make sure that they look like they're not on the ground. A lot of the time you can show a jumping pose by just bending it. You can have one that's going up in space, one that's going away from us like this, because you can kind of really do whatever pose. It's just a jump for the legs. Yeah. Now let me think. Oh, and generally their arms are also out because that's kind of a natural reaction to the pose. And I would say anytime you want to draw a dynamic pose, look at the torso. Is it bending back or is it bending forward? And then the legs and the arms kind of just follow that gesture. It really doesn't matter. I would say focus mostly on the torso and the legs. The arms can really do whatever. May I request chubby body? Ooh, chubby body sounds fun. I need to draw chubbier bodies more often. If you're talking about, well, guys and girls will have different levels of chubby, and they also show it differently. But I'm assuming since you like girls, you like drawing girls loud, we'll do a female chubby body. If you want it like cutesy, there's areas where excess fat go to, and that includes the arms. So the upper arm is going to have a lot more fat because that's where, I get it all the time. I have flab and stuff. So here we have a chubbier upper arm, and the lower arm also has a bit of chub to it, but it's not as big as the upper arm. This is generally what I've noticed. You'll see a lot of rolls in the elbow, for example. And you'll see that as people get chubbier, just their limbs just get thicker over time. So you want to make sure that the overall dispersion of fat is proportional to the body, if that makes sense. Hands will generally get chubbier. They kind of expand, right? So they're not super thin. So you can actually make the hands a little bit rounder, make the fingers rounder. That is always super cute. And what I've noticed as well is that they'll have little dimples on the knuckles because it's covering the knuckles, the bones, right? So that's something that you can draw a bit more. The chest also tends to be a lot bigger. So you don't really see much bone mass or anything like that. You see a lot more soft curves. Bust tends to be bigger. Neck also tends to be rounder and not as defined. The collarbone you rarely see, maybe just a hint of it towards the center. And there will generally be a nice little dip from the belly. So comes out, goes in, comes out, goes in, and there is your little pooch. And I think with a larger, curvier women, there tends to be a lot more of that hourglass shape, especially around the bum area. Now I'm drawing someone that maybe could be a bit more chubby than you want it to, but it's the same concept. You can always make it just a little bit smaller. Saturn says check server fan art. Tony Gunk, thank you for the follow. Let's check it out. I'm on the wrong one. Server fan art. Okay, so they did fan art of Colton's old art.
Oh, no, sword guy. Oh, that's cute. I love that.
That's so cute. I love that. That is great. Adorable.
I never imagined all the way back then that I would get fan art of that character, of
those
two characters.
Never in my...
That's great. Never in all my years.
29 years.
Never in my 29 years.
And you also see a lot of
what was that, 2011 or something?
In areas of creases.
2013? That's so funny. That's crazy.
Let's give her some curly hair. How about that?
Could you do high and low perspective?
Yeah, I can put that on the list if you want to cover that, Colton.
Sure.
High and low angle?
Yeah. My bestie did a drawing, but she didn't have Discord. Can I send it and say it's her art? Yeah, for sure.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Thank you. Comey, thank you for the follow. How is everybody doing? Dusty, Robot Mode, thank you for the follows.
Kitty's taking a little nappy.
That's so cozy.
I know.
I love that. That's really cozy.
Maybe we end up getting Poppy Cam eventually.
Yeah. Hey, Lucaria. Hello. Give her a little bathing suit.
Hello.
And some ruffles because it's cute. Let's give him some ruffles here too.
Ginny.
And maybe it's a polka dot.
Here.
Yeah. Who's new?
Yeah. Who is new? Is anybody here new today? Is halfway of body at rib cage or belly? The half of the body is at the bottom of the pubic bone.
Yeah. So this is... Actually, I have it right here. It's right there. This is the halfway point. So the end of your pubic bone is the halfway point of your body.
Yep. I beg of you, bring back Sword Guy. I mean, I'm not against bringing back Sword Guy. I just don't really see a point.
He needs to... Usually when we make OCs, we have a purpose for the OC.
Yeah,
we don't just make them randomly just because...
they have a purpose inside of a story of some sort.
Oh my gosh, this is a cute outfit. Hey.
How to make the action dynamic poses with chubby people. It'd be the same as action dynamic poses with just non-chubby people.
I would say, like, for instance, if you want to make it chubbier, like, let's say if I want to turn this into a chubbier person, you can add a lot more rolls. So, first of all, expand the body. And by the way, what I mean by expand, it doesn't mean the rib cage is bigger or the pelvis is bigger. It just means the fat has expanded the body. So, generally, you'll see a lot of rolls twisting. And really make sure you add these. Because that's what's going to make it look more convincing that this person's a lot bigger. I don't know if this is a guy or girl or what, but a lot of overlaps. Limbs get thicker. Right?
Yeah. Memorizing where the fat pads are is really helpful.
Yes.
Drawing at different head positions.
now it looks bigger.
Yeah. But it's the exact same gesture. It's the exact same everything. You just memorize where, like, fat pads are and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a lot of the time, like, it'll be on the back of the arm, it'll be in the hips, it'll be in the belly. It depends on where that particular person gains weight.
Mm-hmm. Because some people gain weight more in their hips, but not as much in their upper body.
Yeah, different people gain weight in different areas.
Mm-hmm. What if my persona is a chubby robot? So that depends if you want the mechanical the mechanical areas to look chubby, but maybe they're more solid.
Is it
because
berries? Yeah, it's berries.
It is berries. So like for instance, you can have a part that looks like this and it's round, and physically it looks chubby, but there's maybe like it's just metal. You can think of it like Baymax even. If you want to go more chubby, like more softer, you can think of Baymax. Let me actually draw maybe a front view of a body instead. So let's say you have a chubbier robot. It can look visually chubby, but they're all solid. So you wouldn't really see any of these. Think of it like you could probably look at like some ball jointed dolls. Actually, that would actually be really helpful because those are solid parts, but it's made to have a different body shape. So if you find a creator or a designer of a chubbier ball jointed doll and just like move it around and stuff, you'll actually see that there's not really much fat pads, but you can see the joints, or you can see where it's twisting and turning.
I guess it doesn't matter if it's a robot. It depends what material it's made out of.
Yeah,
like if it's a stiff material,
you won't see this.
You won't get overlaps in terms of like rolls and stuff. If it's not a stiff material, if it's like a jelly material, then it would be the same thing as just like a human.
Yeah. Because
robots, I would say it's more of a material question.
Yeah, yeah. And I love ball jointed dolls, so it's always fun to draw them, the body and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You would see ball joints perhaps if that's what is in your robot character, but maybe it's made of a different material or it looks different. We actually strung together a ball jointed doll, and it was actually really, really good learning experience, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Helped me to learn how it all works. It's very interesting. Next.
Kitty's so adorable. Look at you.
Oh.
Look at you.
So next are basically cylinders that connect at an angle. So rather than having the neck go straight down like this, which can happen if you like straighten your head and kind of go back like this, it's naturally the spine curves outward a little bit more. So the neck is actually angled out like this instead.
Niesel, thank you for the follow.
From the front view, you can't really tell though. So it kind of just looks like this. And when it comes to the neck in a front view, I make sure, it, once again, depends on your body type. But for like your average person, it won't go past your jawline. It'll be a little bit narrower if you're a girl. But if you're a guy and you're very built, then it would go past your jawline. And it'll kind of look more like a tree trunk. Mm-hmm. And that makes sense for the body type, right? If they're chubbier, it would kind of lean more like this, but less angular and more smoother. And from the 3/4 view, it's not like this. Remember, this is going straight down, but rather, here's the hole, the neck hole, comes out a little bit more. For the most part. You know, you can always adjust this because the head turns back and forth and can look a little bit different. Oh, there she goes.
Kitty Poppy.
Thank you, Adriano, for the follow. Well, do you want to talk about anything?
We can?
Yeah?
If you want.
Sure. So I think people are asking for wide lens, perspective from above or below, high or low angle. Mm-hmm. So if you want to cover that, you can.
Sure.
Or you can cover the basics.
This probably goes under. All right. So.
Colton is the perspective buff.
wide. What are we talking about? Ribbons. I'll talk about ribbons really quick. There's a really nice exercise where it's a design exercise. You can draw a line and really focus on making this line interesting. All right, so let's draw a line, and maybe we'll do a long, slow curve, and then we'll have a really sharp turn, and we'll make this even more interesting. Let's have a sharp turn. Come on, what did it? And then we'll go into kind of like this double, and then we'll have this come around here and down, and we'll go into a slow curve and do something like that. So there's a relatively interesting dynamic curve. And this is an assignment that you can do where you can turn this into a ribbon. So we've just created an interesting looking line, and now we're going to turn it into a ribbon. And so we'll go, and now this ribbon is about this wide, all right? So we're going to keep that in mind. Now the ribbon can flip around, so we could flip it around. We could bring it out and bring it up like that. Let's say it goes in, and let's say it comes in and goes like this. So we're going to really pay attention to how wide this is and how thick it is. And then we can just start kind of bringing this stuff together. We can add a little bit of shading to turn that form around.
What times do you usually go live? We go live Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 5 p.m. Pacific.
Yep, but this week we actually changed Wednesday's stream to Thursday. That's why we're live right now.
Mm-hmm. You mean Monday stream to Tuesday?
It's Thursday.
Today's Tuesday.
Today's Tuesday?
Yeah. Today is Tuesday.
Today is Tuesday.
Wait a second.
Are
Today's
you
Thursday?
crazy? Today's Thursday.
Oh my gosh, I am crazy. I am the crazy one, sorry.
I was like, there's no way.
There's no way. For some reason, why did I think that today was Tuesday?
All right, so we'll bring this down, and let's turn this, and maybe we'll give it a little flip, and then maybe we'll flip it back around.
See, I thought that I thought that Wednesday was Monday.
And let's actually, we'll do this. We'll flip it, and then we'll flip it again, and then we'll give it a little swoosh at the end. So there's a ribbon that you start with one curve, and I explained my whole process, right? I'm thinking of variety, like I have a long curve, and then it kind of pulls, and it comes around, and then I have this tight curve, and another tight curve, and another tight curve, and I can just bring it down, and I'm trying to create this dynamic and interesting shape. And then I start thinking, what's the depth of it, right? I could make this wider, and we could come down here and pull this up, and we can pull this down and around, and we can bring it down, and we can flip it, and we can flip it as much as we want. So I'm basically doing the same thing with, we could even go like something like that on the top if we want. So this is a good exercise to you can practice your design. You can practice drawing three-dimensional objects.
You can draw hair with this. It's great.
Yep. You use this to draw hair. This is a really good exercise. I would draw dozens of these. Just dozens of them, right? Really try to pay attention to your negative space inside of the ribbon in here. Try to keep it varied. Try to keep these distances different from each other. And I would even say try to get this little pinch happening right here where it flips and you basically get almost a 90-degree angle. That really helps make your silhouette more interesting.
Snakes are good for this exercise too.
Yeah,
and
snakes are
tails.
basically just this 3D,
but just like a tube instead.
Yeah, like a tube. This is a really, really, really good exercise to help practice design. And there's really no way to get it wrong. So let's see. I just wanted to talk about ribbons in that way. Perspective from above. So above and below, if I'm looking down at something, I'm generally going to get this type of thing. The top of a box. If I'm looking down at a box, I'm going to see the top of it, maybe the front and the side. If I'm looking up at something, this is going to be reversed, right? It's basically the same thing, just the opposite. Now, high and low angles, you're probably going to get 3-point perspective. 3-point perspective is, you have a vanishing point off, to like the left, to the right, and then in the bottom. And so what we can do is we could just pull out some lines here. Let me, actually, I'll move this. So just remember that you're going to have convergence going left and right and lower.
Dahlia says we should get a perspective live class after the next ones.
That could be fun.
That could be fun.
Right, you're going to have convergence going down. You're going to have convergence going to the right and to the left. All right, so that's pretty much how it works. I try using boxes, but I always fail with it. You just got to practice a lot. You'll get better over time. And do a bunch of like exercises and stuff. All right, so do a bunch of exercises where maybe you set up a grid and you just draw a bunch of boxes. Back when I was in school, we would set up dozens and dozens of these, and we would have to do so many of them, and we would have to add a bunch of boxes like in 2-point perspective, and we would do, say, 20 of these grids.
And just fill them all up.
Yeah, and we would just have to add boxes and boxes.
Lily says it's hard to add a person in the up and down angles. Well, drawing people in perspective is very difficult.
Yeah, drawing people in perspective is hard. I mean, people can't even draw boxes, and people are a lot more complicated than boxes are. So it's kind of like saying, I don't know, flying a fighter jet is really difficult. Like, it is very difficult. People can't even fly a basic single-engine plane. So be very forgiving with yourself. It is hard. It's very difficult. People spend years practicing.
We need to tell that to ourselves, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just in general, like in life and stuff, it's like, well, actually, what we're doing is difficult. So, of course.
It is a very difficult thing.
Yeah. What brush do you use? You can find this brush in our profile for free.
Yep. Absolutely for free.
Mm-hmm. Or you can just go to drawanime.com and you can see the brush, our Discord, and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Right, and I would also recommend doing draw through in order to check the perspective of the back of your boxes. See, this one's not quite right. This one needs to go back like that.
I find that drawing boxes like this actually makes things kind of therapeutic.
It is. It's therapeutic.
Very
People hate it. They think it's very boring, but it's very, very, very helpful to do this kind of stuff and do it a lot. Mm-hmm. Just bought your guys' book. Super stoked. Awesome.
Thank you.
Which book did you get? Volume 1, Volume 2? Cannot do. Yeah, I mean it's really like very conscious practice, right? Like if I spend all day every day doodling, like leaves, right? Like let's just say I'm just like drawing leaves for fun, right? I'm doodling leaves and I make these kind of like floral patterns, and then all of a sudden I want to switch over and I want to draw fighter jets. It's probably not going to be a very easy transition. I don't know what they look like. I've never really considered and done a lot of the components that go into drawing fighter jets. Mm-hmm. So you have to also remember that like it's a very logical process. So if you want to know how to draw something, you generally have to practice drawing it. And then there's this underlying foundation below it. Like pretty much every object you'll ever draw is existing in 3-dimensional space. So if you learn the basics of drawing in 3-dimensional space, if you get good at drawing, boxes.
Lily says, I actually enjoy it, but my lines are never straight completely. They don't have to be completely straight.
Nah, your lines don't really have to be that straight.
They just have to be in perspective.
Right? And if you can draw boxes...
Thank you, Danny, for the follow.
Then you can start to draw simple objects.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Ethan, for the follow as well. I love to draw boxes, but I don't really understand how to start with vanishing points, etc.
Basically, a vanishing point is the point at which something goes so far away that you can't see it anymore. It's actually a relatively simple concept, but it does take a lot of practice.
What app do you guys use? We use Procreate. My thumb hurts. I've been liking since earlier. Oh, thank you.
Awesome, thank you.
Actually, we're at 18K likes.
Oh,
which
awesome.
isn't too bad. I would say, Lily, since I totally understand the idea of like perfectionism and stuff, and you know we both struggle with that. It's almost like just try your best and then move on to the next exercise.
Yeah.
Like I actually did a bunch of those Krenz cubes today, and my first few weren't really all that good, and I'm just like, well, I don't feel like fixing it, so I'll just do better on the next one. And I think I did a bit better on the next couple Krenz boxes that I did.
Yeah, just draw a lot, just doodle a lot. You know, I'm relatively out of practice because I don't actually draw that much these days. But it all starts with boxes. It all starts with perspective.
It's
Pretty
like
much
the
everything
atom.
you're ever going to draw exists in three-dimensional space. You know, everything can almost be broken down into simple forms as well.
You can get this brush in our profile, or you can go to drawanime.com
Yep.
for the brush.
And thinking about things in 3D space. So, for example, if you want to draw plants, think about the volume that they occupy. And you can really simplify stuff down. So we've got the leaves that come towards us. We've got the leaves that go to the side. We've got the leaves that are straight to the side. Basically, we can just simplify them maybe into that. We've got the leaves that go away from us. And then we have the leaves that are straight away from us. And we can basically just go like this. Right? So there's a set of leaves, and we can just basically apply these to this simple space, right? We've got these two that are going to the side. We've got one
This is good for bangs as well.
that's going to the side here. Yeah, this is how you do like anime hair and
Yeah,
bangs.
that's how I do anime hair and bangs a lot of the time.
We got some that are going away from us, like this. We've got maybe one that's going straight away from us.
Belial, thank you for the follow. Siren Soldier, thank you for the follow. Can't think of a name, thank you for the follow. And Belle the Sweet. Sylvian, thank you for the follow. I just can't stop drawing perfect lines because I just like that comic. Because I just like that comic book thick line art style. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's totally up to you. Whatever style you want to do. You know, foundation exists independently of style. How do you keep the perspective consistent? Practice a lot. Do a lot of exercises. Gotta go for a bit. Battery's dying. All good. Hi, Bella.
I find that when my perspective is inconsistent, my lines are going in different directions or converging like in the wrong areas. So like I'll draw one box that's facing this way, but then another box that's like in a completely different perspective.
Yeah, do a bunch of exercises. I like to do exercises where I'm just like taking a circle, pulling this out, and then I'll draw boxes along this and just practice drawing boxes along areas here at different angles and orientations. You don't have to draw them all perfect. It's just an exercise. And you can draw the in-between ones.
Danny, it's a lot of practice. He's able to do it because he's practiced a lot of perspective. Your book has a lot of tutorials. It's really helpful. Thank you, Subin.
And so I'll do, something along the lines of this. And then I'll go in and I'll add an angled one. I'll come up and I'll angle it.
How do you guys personally go from structural to organic drawing? I'm more of a structural drawer.
Beveling
edges.
Organic drawing, like a lot of it has to do with design. If your shape is good, that's like half the battle. Like if you're able to draw just a good, interesting looking shape, that's honestly half the battle, because 2D art is abstract at its core. And so it's all based on two-dimensional shapes that look like 3D objects, but at the end of the day, our brain sees 2D shapes. That's why, like, this ribbon assignment is so helpful, is because you start off with one line and you try to make that one line
dynamic,
interesting. And if this line, this two-dimensional line, looks interesting, when you turn it into something like a ribbon, the ribbon already is going to look good because it already looked good at its two-dimensional core. So when drawing organic stuff, it's mostly about getting an interesting design. That's how, like, character designers work. That's how, like, caricature artists work. They basically make interesting shapes and then they fill them in with correct form. So one of my favorite artists, Wouter Tolp, he's animation, he designs characters for animations and stuff, and he focuses so much on this phase where he's like really thinking about, okay, is this an interesting shape? Is this an interesting shape? Maybe I'll pull this in like this, and they also subdivide their shapes as well. So maybe it'll be like, and you'll have these different zones and breaking them up. And that has to do with, like, design principles, right? Like big, medium, small, close together, far away, simple and complex. There's these underlying design principles behind things. So I can write some of them down, like big, medium, small.
XCR Edits, thank you for the follow. Miss TW30s, thank you for the follow. And Joe Parnell, thank you for the follow. Or Parnell, however you pronounce it. Oh, you might need to move that over just a little bit.
All right, so these are some of the underlying design principles behind why things look interesting. I learned this from Will Weston. He teaches design classes. We also teach this. It's not, nobody came up with it specifically. It's just what designers do. It's like kind of what you learn foundationally. 70-30 / unevenness. There's a sci-fi artist out there. His name's Alex Senecal, and he always just says 70-30 unevenness. And just always trying to make everything uneven, right? Is my curve that I'm using, is it even on both sides, right? Is it like 50-50? Can I take this curve and push it to one side or the other and go like this? So my apex is not in the center, so it's uneven, right? I've got a C curve on the top. If I add another curve to the bottom, maybe I can make it an S curve. And maybe I can go...
Ooh.
Maybe I can do something like that.
It looks like a bird.
Yeah, it looks like a bird. So I've got an accelerated C curve on top. And I've got an uneven S curve on the bottom. And I'm paying attention to this volume inside. And I don't want it to be even. I don't want this white space inside to be even, right? Like...
Hey, Sean Okai?
Like this. Like this has an even space. From left to right and from up to down, it's even. So if I start messing with this and making it uneven, and I get rid of those two parallel lines, and then I get rid of these two parallel lines, that shape starts looking more interesting. Mm-hmm. Just, it's interesting for your brain to look at. Uneven things make it more interesting to look at. Yeah, exactly. That's literally what designers do. They're always trying to find interesting things to look at, right? And the gesture, an S curve or a C curve, right? Remember that basketball player earlier? You've got simple, or you've got complex on this side, and you've got simple on this side. That's the bend and the stretch, right? That does not stand for C and S curve. It stands for complex and simple. This is just a general figure drawing principle. And then you've got a C curve on this side. And that pose looks good because it's easy for your brain to understand. And it can go from a pose, you can do it with a spaceship, you can do it when you're drawing a bird. And these design principles, like you learn them and then you do exercises in order to get better at them, right? So the exercise that I was talking about earlier is drawing ribbons. It's fun, it's easy, and you can just play with it. So say, for example, right, I'm going to have a curve right here, and it's going to be an accelerated curve. And then I'm going to like pull back into a curve like this, right? And then maybe I'm going to come out, and then we're going to take another sharp turn.
Ooh.
And then maybe we'll have like a squiggle. So I'm trying to design this interesting shape, and I'm taking a look at the negative space in here. I'm basically going from this kind of this accelerated curve to a really, really fast pulling back. And then I'm going to go into kind of a medium curve into like a mostly straight curve. And then I'm going to pull right back, pull this up, right? And I could probably even make this curve more interesting by pushing it maybe like this. Maybe something like that. And then I can just turn this into a ribbon. I can go here. I can go here. It doesn't really matter. I'll flip it. And let's just say this goes like that. We pull it over. I'll flip it again. Maybe I'll flip it again. And then we'll come out like this, and I'll flip it again. And I'll flip it again. And let's just flip it again.
Wow, 22K likes are almost 25K.
And I'll flip it again. Actually, yeah, let's flip it again.
Got an interesting question. How do you layer detail without compromising the readability of the form?
Focal points.
Focal points.
Layer detail without compromising the readability of the form. There's a thing that's called, oh crap, what's it called? What's the eye pathing? That's what it's called. So one thing that you can do is you can do a thing called eye pathing, and you can basically plan your detail, the path that your detail takes that you want the eye to follow. So for example, I've got something like this, right? My eye is going to travel along this path of detail, and I can have detail here and there, like it doesn't matter, but generally you can plan the path that your detail takes, and all the time you're reinforcing this form, right? Like I'm reinforcing the cylinder. I could add hatch lines around here to reinforce that cylinder. I could even add, spikes, whatever. This could be the handle of something. This could be the tail of a dragon. It could be anything. With buildings, a lot of the time, like for example, if you have the roof of a building, they'll draw a line. And then they'll just detail the bulk of the details will be along this eye path. Maybe the shingles and stuff, and they'll have a whole bunch of details. They'll have some details here. They'll have a nice strong silhouette.
It's like, what's the supporting characters versus what's the main character?
Yeah.
It's kind of like that.
And you really want to think about, where do you want your viewer's eye to travel as they look at your image? And you can add most of the detail in this area and then some supporting details here and there. And obviously, I want to reinforce my form. Silhouette is very important, but you can basically plan this path of detail. And I would say that's probably how do you decide what areas should be detailed and what shouldn't be? That's going to be something that you decide yourself. Do you want there's a really good example by an artist named Craig Mullins, all right? And he was saying his website is Good Brush.
Good Brush.
Good Brush. That's literally his website.
Good
brush.
A good brush.
And he has a example. I was taking a class by Craig Mullins. Absolute legend. He's a very skilled painter and artist. This is what his work looks like. Here, let me turn warm mode off. Right? This is what his work looks like. He's a very high-level artist. He's regarded as one of the best. One of the best digital artists. And
oh, I love that piece.
I know he's insane. He's amazing.
He's literally insane.
And he's been doing professional art for a really, really, really long time. And there was a specific image of his that he was talking about, and it's regarding to the focal point. So like you can kind of put it wherever you want. That's a really, really nice piece there.
That's so nice. It's so simple.
Let's try to find it.
Was it the lady?
Is the lady?
Oh yeah.
Here it is.
Oh,
so he was talking about this artwork right here. Can I? Maybe I'll just like save the photos, and I'll just go to my photo and open it up. There we go. He was talking about this piece right here, and he was saying generally the focal point, you would put it as her face. But he said, I don't want to do that. He's like, I'm actually going to make the focal point the collar of her shirt. So he made the focal point right here and drew the attention there while leaving the face relatively simple and undetailed. And all of these are pretty soft edges. And then he had this one really sharp edge here on the collar of the shirt. And that's where he decided the focal point would be. He's like, I just thought it would kind of be interesting. It seems obvious to make the focal point the face, so I'll just make it somewhere else. And he used that example in this class that I was taking of his. And the long story short, it's up to you. Where do you want to put the focal point? What do you think is interesting? Where do you want people to look? Where do you want people to be interested? What do you find interesting? That's one of the cool things about being an artist, is you're just like, I'm going to draw this crocodile, but I actually think the tail's kind of interesting. So maybe you pull people's attention to the tail.
Well, I think it's like, as you become an artist, you start finding unconventional things that you find interesting. Like, for instance, I feel like normally, if you're not an artist, you would kind of think a trash heap looks kind of unattractive. But to an artist, it might have a lot of interesting shapes. And you're like, wait a second, that actually looks pretty sick.
Yeah, like, you know? Maybe you're designing a trash heap, and you're just like, maybe I want this trash heap to have some, like, wonk to it. So, like, pulls to the right? There's my trash heap. And here's, like, the general form. And then you go, this is kind of cool. There's some bricks in here. And these bricks are, like, sticking out of the trash heap. And maybe one's breaking the silhouette. And maybe there's another brick down here. And, you know, maybe you got another one. What?
Maybe there's some rubble.
Yeah, like maybe you've got another one right here. And you're actually interested in the contrast between the junk and these like bricks that are sticking out. And so maybe as an artist you go, how do I make this about the bricks in the trash heap? Or how do I design this in a way that pulls attention to what I think is actually kind of interesting? You know, maybe we've got like newspaper and paper, and you're using your perspective skills. You're using all these skills to essentially design this piece, right? Maybe there's like a tire sticking out, right? Maybe you've got like a really big tire coming out back here, sticking that direction, and you see the back of the tire a little bit right there, and I'm building this silhouette, and I'm going, okay, so I've got this curve here, it goes into this, and then maybe up here, maybe there's like a post sticking out or like a pipe sticking out. Maybe I want to like bring the eye back in, right? So I can design my eye paths to sort of bring you back in, and I can do this with like leading lines, and I can do this with like detail as well. So maybe I'm going to go, okay, so your eye comes in this post, and then it travels along this line. Maybe I'll add some detail here and here to help your eye travel down from this thing sticking out.
I do this with dresses and stuff.
Yeah. This doesn't matter. Like I'm making a trash pile, but the subject doesn't matter. It's the concept of bringing someone's eye in by giving them something to look at. I find it Really fascinating.
We should go to a junkyard sometime.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
Yeah, and draw there.
Yeah.
How long are you usually live for?
A couple hours.
I would say longer ones are usually about 4 hours, but sometimes it could be between 1 to 4 or 1 to 3.
Right, and you can really just decide whatever you want this pile to be.
25K likes.
Oh, awesome. 25,000 likes. You know what that means? It means head pats for chat.
Good job, chat.
So good job. 25,000 likes on TikTok. Absolutely fantastic work. Great work. Yeah. Art, like I said before, all 2D art at its core is abstract. And so you're using abstract concepts to get people to pay attention to what you want them to pay attention to. You dual stream on YT? Yes. We are live on our YT channel and also TikTok. Pat. Great work.
Obila says, wait, today's stream day? Well, it was streamed for yesterday, so we're making up for it.
Yeah, wait, it was stream what?
We were supposed to stream yesterday.
Oh, yes.
We're making it up today.
Yeah, we didn't stream yesterday. And so you can figure out what you want the form of this to be, right? Maybe we could have a piece that comes out here, and I don't really know what this pile is made of. It's just like a bunch of junk. But abstractly, you could think about it like, maybe I've got a bunch of little circles.
Oh, it's grapes. I'm kidding.
You could bring your composition and basically just go, okay, maybe I've got a bunch of little circles. And the more circles that I add, the less each one is important. So it becomes like a texture, right? It started as something interesting, but now your brain's starting to go, I don't think this is all that interesting anymore, because there's so many of them, I don't know which one to pay attention to, right? And as I grow this out, your brain, each individual one means less and less because there's so many. And so what I can do is just come in here and let's just say,
how to draw people sitting crisscross applesauce. I would say draw one leg at a time and figure out which legs are overlapping over which. You can even, I would say, well, this is not really helpful, but crossed arms and crisscross legs are actually inverted. So you can take this and just flip it and there's legs.
Yes. So all of a sudden when I add a triangle, that triangle is simultaneous contrast of shape. I have all of this circular stuff going on. What's up? I have all of this circular stuff going on, and then I have a triangle. And so that triangle pops out against the circles, and it becomes the focal point. If this was a whole bunch of triangles, and I did it with a circle, it would be the same thing. Right? And I could add a couple of triangles. I could add a triangle there. Let's do close together, far away. So I'll do 2 triangles, and then I'll do one further away. What's Poppy meowing about?
Poppy, what are you...
What's she?
I think she just wants some attention.
Poppy? She's silly. 1, 2, 3. So like I got some close together, far away going on, right? And now this could be a composition. This could be any heavy duty texture with, again, it's all abstract. This isn't anything specific. It could be a plant with bugs on it. And you're making a drawing, and here's your frame. And this drawing... This drawing is about this plant, and maybe you put it in 3D, and here's kind of this plant shape, and you've got a couple of butterflies on this plant.
We stream Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 5 p.m. Pacific.
Right? Maybe it's like a sunflower with butterflies on it. And so you can basically use these principles in order to create a composition, right? And I would look up reference of what sunflowers look like, but I would essentially keep that concept in mind. And you could design your shapes and your composition to pull people's attention through contrast of shape, which is a bunch of circles, not very many triangles. The triangles become important.
Mm-hmm. Is that why people draw stuff in blobs for objects so they can make something else the focus point.
Draw stuff in blobs for objects? I'm not sure what you mean exactly.
If you mean not have that many sharp edges, or maybe making things a little bit like foggy or not as defined.
Like less detailed? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like sharpness will generally draw attention. So if you don't want things to draw as much attention, you can pull them out of focus. You can go, what is it? There's like this kind of concept where maybe you have one.
Could you do a salad bowl? A salad bowl's fun.
Yeah, you could make a salad bowl look interesting like that.
Well, like if you actually look at food designers and people who do blogs and stuff, or food blogs, they actually design their food so that it's like artistic.
Mm-hmm.
So like for instance, if you have a salad has a bunch of lettuce, but you want it to pop out a little bit more, you can add some tomatoes because it's different in color and it's different in shape.
Yeah, it's that like variety type deal.
Yep.
Like there's this concept where basically you can start to lose edges. Like if you want to pull people's attention one way or another, you can just like lose the edges that you don't want them to look at, and you can pull them to the edges that you do want people to look at, right? So those would be lost edges, or softer edges rather.
Oh, we got a little puzzle piece to do.
And so you can pull people's attention. Let's just do this. You can pull people's attention to a particular edge by losing other edges and leaving one sharper. Traditional painters do this all the time, right? It's like I was talking about a little while back with, where was it? Oh, here it is.
AV asked, this might be off topic, but are your summer 2025 term classes restricted to a certain skill level?
Nope.
Nope, not at all.
Not at all. All skill levels are welcome. And we go through the basics, and critiques will take people where they are and help them. But yeah, like this type of thing, right? This is like lost and found, right? You've got dark with light, light with light, dark with dark, and dark with light. And so James Gurney calls it shape welding, but it's basically this concept where you have like these lost and found edges, all right? So if I turn this black and white, hue, saturation, brightness, saturation down, you can actually see that we're getting that happening here, right? We've got dark, light, 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 dark, light, and then dark, dark. And so you have all four combinations within the same object, and traditional painters use this all the time in their work. It's very common.
Bye, Avery.
Hey, Master Magic. No
Hey.
problem. Glad to help out.
On the live stream, they use Procreate, but otherwise they say they use Photoshop, and Rogel wants to know what Photoshop version we use.
I have like 3 Photoshops installed on my computer, and sometimes I'll accidentally open the wrong one, and I'll be like, where are my files? So 2025 right now, or 2024. I'm not actually sure. It's not an old one.
Yeah. Probably one of the later, versions.
Yeah.
More recent versions, I would say. But
So
whichever
that's-
one, as long as it's useful.
She's so silly.
Oh, is she fine?
And we're gonna do this times 2.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have 2 cats possibly.
But yeah,
Go back to your box, Poppy. Good girl.
it's honestly just a lot of stuff. Any advice on drawing ruffles or pleated folds from different angles? It goes down to drawing simple objects in perspective. So like ruffles are just a bunch of cylinders, right? They're just pipe folds.
Oh, kitty coming through. She's trying to rub on the mic.
You're ridiculous, kitty.
Oh no. Okay, kitty. Come on, Colton's gotta draw.
That was not a good idea. Gotta go to bed. Good night, Avery. She is. And now she's going back to her little box.
Just kind of wandering around.
Yeah, so like ruffles, it'll generally be more pinched on one side and less oh.
What? Oh, did it? Oh my goodness. Poppy,
Whoa!
you want her?
You're insane. You're insane. You've been on the catnip, haven't you? Oh my gosh, she is. This is what she did to my mom.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Kitty.
for
You might have to
example,
leave the room
let's just say it occupies this shape.
or just be on my lap.
All right, so here's like this flat two-dimensional surface. All right, and this part is being squeezed, and this part is being, you know, it's getting relief. So you can just go like that, and then this one is going to be really bunched up.
Yeah. And you connect the dots.
Yeah, and you just
Connect the line.
you really just connect the dots. I didn't draw the right amount back here, so I probably should do that. Right, so let's just say we basically have these 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. It'd probably be better with an odd number. Let's add a 5th. There's 5. 1. So we'll come back here and we'll do some overlaps. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then there's a 5th one back there. And then make sure you draw that back side, because that's going to make it look like it's actually 3D.
Tita asks, what would you two prefer, drawing tablets with a screen or without a screen?
I actually don't really have that much of a preference. The Intuo style, which is like a tablet without a screen,
Feels really good.
it feels great. I drew on them for years. I worked professionally on them for years. I did a lot of school on them. They feel really good. As long as you get one that's quite snappy and responsive, I think the Intuos Pros are great. They feel fun.
Mm-hmm.
But I use a Cintiq now.
When do you usually start live streaming? Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 5 p.m. Pacific. Hi, and hi, Pen. I don't know how to pronounce that, but hello.
So another thing is, just make sure that when you're drawing these, you can actually add a little box to make sure that your folds are the right size. If you have trouble making sure that they're the right size, you can add a box for guidelines here
Look at Poppy.
and keep them in there. I know, she's so silly.
So silly. Bye, Lunatic. Thank you for the lovely gifts. as
Yes, thank you.
always.
Have a good day. There you go. That can help you keep them the right size, adding some guidelines. And if you want to draw it around a cylinder, well, generally, you can draw a simple cone.
We come into us, but I don't think I use a pro. I kind of don't know how to use it correctly, despite drawing with it for a bit now.
It just comes with practice. As you get better at fundamentals,
It'll feel more like natural.
yeah, it'll feel more natural. Right? So you can draw, say, a skirt from different angles.
Oh, she sent another galaxy.
Oh,
Thank you.
thank you so much. Can we get some W's for Lunatic before she heads off? Thank you very much, Lunatic. Appreciate it. The Wacoms are great. I like them a lot.
How to be good at drawing anatomy? A lot of practice. Practice having a process of drawing figures. And what I do to memorize like anatomy, like specific muscles, is I would just draw them and color code and label. And you just memorize them over time.
Thank you very much, Lunatic. Appreciate it.
Hi, River.
If the skirt's turning, essentially you would get like a cylinder, right? You'd have this cone. And if the skirt is turning, you'd have a dot, and you'd have a dot, and it would basically be mapped
Swoosh.
to this dot. So you'd have dot, 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 and you'd have dot, 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 and it would basically map across.
It's like those
To
Jell-O
these.
cakes. You know those
Yeah.
Jell-O molds?
And there'd be a dot, and it'd go like that, and there'd be a dot, and it would go like this, and then you'd probably get the backside
Yeah.
like that. So it would fan around. That's one way that you could basically plot it out, and that helps
Never thought about that.
a lot. Yeah, when we were in FZD, we had to draw
Steal that.
these. We had to draw these train things. They looked like this. like the front of a train. And it would be like dot, 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 dot. And it would be like...
I see.
Like that sort of thing. I don't really remember it
like
exactly.
The grid, like,
yeah, it like pushes stuff
grill.
off the tracks, the grill thing. Actually, I could just leave it there.
Yeah. Whoa. Rogol.
Rogol is regular Photoshop fine or Adobe Illustrator better? Adobe Illustrator is vector. I don't actually use it at all.
Yeah, I don't use it at all either. Most artists use Pixels, which is Photoshop.
Awesome, Insomnia. Glad to hear it. Actually drawing until now. Nice. I don't use any Illustrator. I don't do vector art. I've used it in the past, but I haven't used it in years. Vector is not what I do. I do raster, which is like pixel based. Vector is like mathematical art. You can blow it up as big as you want. Some people do their illustration and stuff in Illustrator. It's a great program. It's just I don't. You don't need to, not for what we do. But it depends on what career you want to go into. If you're going to be a graphic designer, you absolutely need to know Illustrator and probably InDesign and stuff like that. Ever tried lasso art?
You mean you just using the lasso
tool? You mean
tool?
like a painting just using the lasso tool? Yeah, all the time. It's very common to do that. But I rarely will make paintings just using the lasso tool. It's just a funny little exercise thing. No, not really. I mean, I've done entire paintings with just the lasso tool, but it's more of like a little silly exercise rather than...
Not like an actual thing.
Yeah, people do it for fun.
Yeah. Is XP Pen a good brand? I think so. People use it.
I haven't heard bad stuff about it.
Yeah.
Chat, is XP Pen a good brand? I haven't tried it. There we go. And then skirts in motion. I'm not that good at skirts in motion, but essentially...
It's a figure 8.
Yeah. Like a figure 8. And you can have
to think of cloth like hair too. Kind of goes wherever you wish it to go.
Yeah.
Oh, I love this song.
You can do, this sort of thing.
Notice how Colton's always adding like that little bit at the end. It's like just to show the turn. And it's really important.
Yeah.
That little edge.
Well, that's overlaps, right? This is a really, really good diagram. All right. I learned this from Will Weston. He's taught many artists that went on to become Disney artists and DreamWorks artists. All right. This is graphic. This is depth. All right, if you want something to have depth, pay attention to going back in space. If you're drawing like rocks or something, you can do something like that. You could even pop this over like this. Again, it doesn't have to look exactly like that. It's the concept, which is you get this stair-stepping, right? You get this stair-stepping going on. That creates the illusion of depth. You could do this with bushes. You can do this with anything. If things start to overlap and go back in space, it will start looking like it has depth to it. And that's the reason is because if you have your perspective plane and you have objects on this area, right? Let's just say we've got a cylinder, and let's just say we've got like a rock back here. And then let's say maybe we have a building or a box or something. You get this natural stair-stepping as it goes into the distance, and that creates the illusion of depth, all right? This stair-stepping looks like depth. Square. And your profile picture is a cube.
Oh, isn't that perfect?
We're going to be great friends. Danny draws. Hello, good to see ya. Tony Gunk. I thought it said Grunk. Tony Gunk. XP Pen is solid. I have one. Awesome. It looks like chat likes XP pen. I've never tried it myself. You can add a corner on it. A rock is just a shape with a corner on it for the most part. You can draw rocks by drawing an abstract shape and just adding dimension to it.
She's going back to her box. We should get a similar box like this. Because it's actually technically Grandma's box.
Yes. You can have some plants behind there.
Ooh.
I would actually add a simple behind this one. So maybe...
Because there's a lot of complex.
Yeah. Maybe this space in here would actually be considered a simple. So maybe if this were a painting, this in here would probably be either complex or simple, and then this in here would either be complex or simple. So I'd probably go simple, detail-wise, complex.
Move that over.
Yep.
There we go.
Right? And then maybe the rock would be a simple. And so I'm basically going in and out.
Lau says Colton Snazzer boxes.
Simple. Complex. Simple. Maybe we can do complex as well. And so you get like this in and out read, right? You got this complex, you got a simple, you got a complex, and it makes it easier to look at for the brain, for the eye. You don't get overwhelmed too much.
Mm-hmm. I've been practicing anatomy/art studies, but every time I do it, it doesn't help my art. A lot of it is application, and a lot of it is also because you're trying to get used to drawing a bunch of anatomy, and anatomy is very difficult. People drawing is difficult. It will help the more you do it because you have to apply it.
Wait, what? Was there a question?
Lau says boxes or snaz.
Is that the question that I didn't hear that's crazy?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, my brain automatically blocks out stupid questions. Snaz or boxes? You know the answer. Boxes. Of course. How should one go about learning the fundamentals? Can I just start doing figure studies? Well, there's a bunch of different fundamentals. If you want something that's structured and organized, we actually have a fundamental school. We teach figure drawing, gesture, anatomy, perspective, rendering, backgrounds, all that kind of stuff. We have a school. However, if you want to go like the freemium route, you can find stuff on YouTube. You're going to have to piece it together. If you want to check out our school, you can just go to our website, drawanime.com. Drawanime.com, and you can look at Anime Art School. There's just going to be a yellow button on there, and it's like a one-time payment, and you get it forever. There's a whole bunch of classes, but there's definitely, you can find everything for free. You just have to do a lot of digging. Essentially, buying something just saves you a whole bunch of time digging.
Well, I also would think it depends on who you're watching, because some are not always vetted artists.
There's also a lot of content out there that's very much, it's not vetted. It's not people won't really know what they're talking about. There's some really, really good artists out there who have free content, but you have to search for them. You have to dig. It's like you spend as much time digging as you do learning. It's just such a waste of time.
Yeah. Do you have your drink of the day? It's just water today, Lau.
I don't even have water. Kitty, why is she in here the whole time today? She's being funny. She knows.
I think she knows that that's her little spot.
I'm going to stop trying to get the cat hair out of my mouth, and I'm just going to swallow it.
Did you bite her tail or something?
Yeah, I bit her tail earlier, and I've had cat hair in my mouth. Can you show the dress in motion again? Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Draw it again or show it again? Like this kind of thing?
It looks like Jello.
Yeah. It's essentially just...
Aw, thank you, Tiva.
Right, and you can even add like a swoop, right?
What's your fave thing to draw? Women are my favorite things to draw. Demonic says, do you think
The
a
figure
drawing
8 one
is worth it? Oh, that one's very nice.
That.
I think a drawing schedule is pretty worth it. It helps you keep consistent, and you can kind of keep track of how long you've drawn. For me, I don't usually keep track of how long I've drawn. I just know that I draw for hours. So.
Yeah.
But you don't have to keep it to a super rigid schedule. You can keep it like, you could say, hey, maybe I'll block out 2 hours to draw every day, or 5 hours, whichever one that you want, and then track it. That helps.
It depends if you want to become a pro or not.
Yeah, it does.
If you want to become a professional artist, you're going to have to dedicate major hours. Major hours.
Can I see how to do body anatomy? We did some earlier, but I'm actually going to be making a video on how to draw the body in 3 simple stages, and I'm going to walk you through how to do it, so you can look forward to that in our YouTube channel. How do you guys keep a fixed schedule? I really can't seem to fix schedule for myself. I get burned out, or I just don't feel like it, probably because I don't like my art.
If you find the answer to that, let us know.
Yeah.
Because I have no fixed schedule. It's an abomination of a schedule.
Yeah, I don't have a fixed schedule either.
Yeah. Honestly, it's hard. I don't know. I mean, like, I really like drawing, and I'm really dedicated to learn and grow, so I spend a lot of time drawing. Back when I was a student, I had crazy, massive homework assigned. But you guys keep us on a fixed schedule. We stream multiple times a week at the same time.
Pretty good, honestly.
And there's 27 plus about 50 people. There's about 80 people here. And y'all help us create a consistent and fixed schedule.
Mm-hmm. I'd say school. That's why a lot of people go to school, is because they want that schedule.
Mm-hmm.
Colton went to that rigorous school. I went to that college that I went to for the work and the environment. If you find that maybe, I would say when we worked at that cafe, that Starbucks earlier,
that was fun.
It was really laser focused. I felt like, oh, I can draw for this much amount of time, and you can maybe say, hey, maybe this amount of times this week, I'll go to Starbucks or go to a cafe and draw there for a while, and then that keeps you in that environment where you're like doing it for yourself, and maybe you have a friend over that also draws with you, so that can help.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a nice torso, Colton. That makes torsos look so simple. I should focus on that next. Yeah, that's part of the figure drawing process, is simplifying them into boxes.
Yeah, and torsos are just rounded boxes.
They are just rounded boxes.
You know, and you already have all your measurements. You've got the 3-finger gap. You've got down to the pubic bone. You know where the leg comes out.
Well, something that I've noticed, even like if you've ever done any life drawing, or just like live figure drawing, there's a few perspective, like little landmarks that you can think about. This pelvis right here, if you see these little bones popping out from the body, that's called the iliac crust. And that's a way to think about perspective.
Superior anterior spine of the iliac crest. Is that what it's called?
I think that is what it's called.
It's basically the front of your pelvis. It's known as the
bony
3-finger gap, and that's where your legs connect to, basically.
Yep.
Your legs basically connect to right there.
Mm-hmm. And so that's a landmark. And the bottoms of the rib cage is also a landmark to show you the perspective.
Mm-hmm.
The spine, the little dimples.
And your rib cage is in there.
Rib cage, yep.
But a lot of figure drawing. Honestly, I haven't actually done any figure drawing in probably weeks, maybe even months. I've been really focused on other perspective stuff. I used to do 30 minutes of figure drawing warm up every single day.
Oh, this is so cool.
Yeah.
I really like how even the tone is that Jean did in this one right here.
Yeah, it's very nice.
Oh, that's
So
nice
cool.
stuff.
I wonder if
That's cool.
Jean's still on here. Probably not.
I don't know. You just have to dedicate major hours if you want. It's a skill like any other, right? You have to dedicate major hours to it to get better. Anybody can get good at drawing if they put the time and the energy into it. This is a really, really, really big deal here. This is generally, this right here, with proportion and design, like the ribbon thing. Where's that ribbon? The ribbon thing, this is, aside from like foundation, like solid foundation, this is the number one reason people have difficulty getting hired as like a concept artist or designer.
I draw for hours, but I feel like I never learn anything. I would switch that. That.
I would say do really conscious, deliberate practice, like exercises, and just go through like lessons. Go through lesson.
Yeah. Like you could even say, hey, maybe for this drawing, I'm going to focus more on form rendering, or I'm going to focus more on lighting. And so it's like a specific topic that maybe you're not as strong in. And then you can do a bunch of focus studies and then work on, and then use your main piece or whatever, what you learn, and basically take what you learn from those studies and put it into that piece. That can help. But I feel like the never learn anything, it might be a mindset shift. Maybe you can also say, what did I learn after I drew this piece, or after I've drawn these things? I find that it's a mindset shift that helps you to be like looking for the things that you are thinking about. So when you say I never learn anything, well, that's what you believe. But when you say, oh, I learned something, and then you find all the things that you learned, maybe that might help a bit too. Do you know blenders can be cleaned with sandpaper or a nail file?
Huh?
A nail filter filer? Did not know that. I think you are learning things, and the more you draw, the more you kind of intuitively learn things as well, because your body's getting used to it. It's just that maybe you also could be having too many expectations. Maybe you don't want to be where you want to be right now, and you're like, I just don't know. So that sometimes can happen. Sometimes when I'm working on a piece, I'll be like, oh, I want to study this artist this time and see how they simplify their values, or how they, like, oh, maybe I'll try this new concept that I learned today. Hi, kitty.
What are you doing, kitty? Look. She literally has decided that the iPad is her bed. Poppy, what are you doing? She's just like,
Ooh, warm
that
spot.
seems important.
Now she looks like a little chicken.
Just kidding. I'm the one who's important. Kitty, look.
Look at the camera. Unfortunately, we can't see that on TikTok. I think that's my problem. I want to be better. I think it's good that you want to be better. Oh, there she goes. I think it's good that you want to be better, and I also think that
You are so silly. You literally. She's loafing.
she is loafed.
She's just loafed.
She's just loafed, and she's messing up the canvas. She's so funny.
You're
So
such a
I think
silly.
I think when what tends to happen is people tend to criticize themselves too much, thinking that it's actually helpful, but it's not, because that only makes you like depressed. So I think while you're learning, have a lot of self-compassion, because that will actually help you to be more productive in the long run. That's what I'm trying to do, is being more self-compassionate and being like, you know what? Oh my gosh. And now she's
You are so silly. Why are you doing this to us?
I don't know. She's just very comfortable. Oh, there goes her little face. Hi, Katten.
What's she drawing?
I don't know what she drawn.
Something lazy.
She's taken over.
She has officially taken over stream. You are so
I don't
ridiculous
know if Vio or Toy
sometimes.
is here today, right now, Saturn.
I have no idea, but she's so soft.
Now you saw the back of Colton's head.
Ba, yes. A little too much. Did you see the pimples on the back of my head?
No, it's not that bad. Yeah.
Speaking of sick, absolutely sick. If y'all want to see some really nice stuff, this is Gene Bond's book. It's a sketchbook collection. It's called 36 Views to Taipei 101. This is all like traditionally drawn in a sketchbook. He goes around and draws this stuff, and he's compiled these. You can't see very much because Poppy's in the way, but like he draws all of these in a sketchbook as he goes around the city, and he's published it in a book. You could go pick this up on Amazon. It's really, really inspiring. He's an amazing artist, and he also has a fantastic YouTube channel. Okay, I've finally bothered her enough to...
Now she's digging into her ear and scratching the heck out of it.
Are you ready to go? See, even Poppy likes the book. Look at her.
She's already rubbing
She's rubbing her face on it. Do you like this book?
She's already trying to rub on it.
Yeah. He's a very, very good artist. Does really nice line work. And he has a YouTube channel. He teaches a bunch of perspective. We're actually going to be doing a collaboration with him sometime. He's living in Taiwan.
What if that was your next video, Colton?
I think we're going to do it live probably.
Oh, yeah.
Very nice work. And then we also got this Daxi one.
Daxi.
Bunch of really nice line work. Look at that. Very nice work. And he goes around and draws a bunch of this kind of stuff. Super, super cool. Go grab this. Bunch of sketches and stuff.
Yeah, I find that the times that I want to improve most is when it's like, oh, I know I got most of this stuff right. I just need to fix this one thing. And then it becomes more like a game.
Poppy has taken over.
Poppy has taken over.
Meow.
Meow, meow.
You're so silly. I can't continue the stream. Yeah, his work is gorgeous. Really nice guy too. Teaches a lot of super, super good stuff for free on his YouTube channel. Poppy, you're so silly. You gonna get a brother maybe?
I think it'd be good for her to have a brother. Or a sister. Whichever one. I really liked Applejack.
Oh my gosh, Applejack was good.
Beautiful. Maybe we should call the shelter.
Cat. I'm sorry, chat. Cat has taken over the
That's what I feel.
Stream.
Like, well, can the cat breathe fire? No. When is summer vacation for you guys? Because Steph maybe just says, I can't wait to be out of school.
Kitty. All right, that's enough of this. She doesn't want to leave
like,
this
spot. I'm going to
spot.
be very heavy.
I wonder how much she weighs. Not very much. Less than 10 pounds.
I think less than 10 pounds.
Like maybe 7 or 8 or something.
Stay here. You're not going to go anywhere else. Okay, good girl.
There we go. Well,
it's winter for me, so I don't get one. Oh no. June 19th. Oh, that sounds pretty good. May 22nd. That's really soon for you, Chuki. Next Thursday, that's even shorter. I had a dream where I was like, oh, I don't have to bring my backpack anymore because I was still in high school.
Winter break on July 17th.
Whoa.
Tiva.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you for the $5 super chat. You two's advice is so useful. I can't wait to get better at art with the advice you guys give and make the comic I always wanted to. Poppy's back. No, she literally.
Do make the comic, Tiva.
Poppy.
Kitty. Oh, oops.
She's so silly.
She's just silly today.
She just keeps going back to the iPad. You like your little glowing bed?
Glowing bed.
Honestly, I feel like that was a pretty good stream.
I think so
I think
too. It was very fun.
I think I might wrap it for myself. You want to wrap up?
I think I'll wrap up.
I need a draw, bruh.
This must be a very artist experience with their cat. Yep. Well, we just got her, like, what, 2 months ago? Felt like
Yeah.
Maybe, like, 2 months ago?
Less than 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
She likes expensive beds, yeah.
She likes the heated, glowing bed, a.k.a. the iPad.
Yeah. Appreciate it, Tiva.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much. Well, we're going to continue to stream. And hey, if anybody is interested, we are running live classes. Like, if you really want to get better, if you're just like, that's it, I'm determined to get better.
Taking that initiative.
Yeah, I want to finally get it over with and learn anatomy, or I want to finally get it over with and learn how to do costume drawing and clothing and folds. You know, go check it out on our site. We've got those classes coming up. You'll get critiques every single week.
Mm-hmm. And if you actually get a live class, you get a watercolor.
Oh, I totally forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So whoever is interested in...
Yeah, our live classes have this promotion, right? So Here's Master Magic's character done in watercolor live on stream. And here is Kat's watercolor done live on stream. If you get one of our live classes, you will get a watercolor live on stream of your character. And we will mail it to you with both of our books signed. That is the promotion. So you not only get an awesome watercolor of your character. Are you done? You not only get an awesome watercolor of your character,
with Poppy
sniffed
promotion.
by Poppy.
Sniffed by Poppy. Got Poppy cooties.
And our 2 books, you'll also get an awesome class.
The live class, each is $500.
Yes, and if you get both, you get a $100 discount on the second live class.
Yep. Now, if you already have our Anime Art School, then you get discounted on those classes as well, but you can ask us about it. Excuse me. There she goes.
It's Miss Poppy, excuse me. My cat is also laying on my iPad.
Maybe it's
All right,
she
here's
always does
Poppy.
this. All right.
She is absolutely out of her mind today. What's up?
Don't dig your nails into my legs, Poppy. I don't have any protection.
The cat now wants to draw, yeah.
Yep. Well, let's hope that she didn't mess up the canvas. Doesn't look like it.
We're good.
Yep, we're good. She just moved it around. Silly, silly kitty.
She likes expensive beds. Torties are affectionate. Yeah, apparently torties are either a menace or super sweet. No in between. That's what we
Poppy's
heard.
kind of in the middle. She can be very sweet, but also a little bit sassy. Maybe
Oh, I
more
forgot.
like
We didn't
spicy
turn on that light. It's fine, though.
Oh, that's why, because there's that shadow. I was wondering why there's that shadow there, but oh well. Stretching over into my screen. You know, I feel like cats make life better. I hope everyone gets a cat at some point, or gets an affectionate cat. It's great. She's like a member of the family.
Mm-hmm. My tortoiseshell cat hates being picked up but loves being on your lap.
Oh.
Poppy loves being carried around in shopping bags.
Mm-hmm.
Like oh my gosh.
Boxes, shopping bags.
Like mad. Like she loves being carried in shopping bags. I could probably find a shopping bag and she'd just get in it right now.
Do it.
Where's a bag?
I pity those with cat allergies. Oh, I heard that you can actually get over cat allergies. I think like you can build a certain immunity, or like some cats don't have that same quality of, I don't know, allergic stuff, dander, whatever that is. So yeah, that's what I've learned. But I wonder, I hope that Danny gets a kitty sometime and gets over the stuff. Oh, I hear the bag.
Where's Poppy
I
at?
don't know where she's at. She's somewhere. Kitty!
You want to come in the bag?
Is she there? Is she there? Hypoallergenic cats, I think I told you about that. I remember you saying that, Saturn. I just recently saw a cat breed that looks like a sheep. A sheep's cat. It literally has like curly hair everywhere. And I'm like, what the heck? This is like makes me have the heebie-jeebies looking at that cat. But it's cute, I think. It just looks like, you know, an interesting thing. Hey, gotcha sheep. Writer's block can be so tough to fight. Yeah. Well, I really want to take writing classes. That's something that I've always wanted to do. Because I mean, obviously, I never wrote before, so I definitely suck at writing. But I think it would be really fun to do. I always like to do people watching because I feel like that can be fun ideas. Or like there was an idea for a character where sometimes I would think of like, what if Ray did this, my OC, or some other character in her story, where like it would be an old lady or whatever that would buy things from Goodwill just to furnish their house and make it look like presentable, and she would like make up stories in her head to like fit in with society or something. I always thought that was a funny idea. I love any kind of cats. Nice. Finally have time for the stream. Aw, nice gotcha sheep. We might be wrapping up kind of soon, but yeah. Do you have any drawing tips for drawing side jaw kind of out of, without the jaw being too long or ears too high? What I would do is I would have a set, like when I would draw heads,
Well, she didn't want the bag, but she wanted
She
the box.
wanted the box. Oh, look at her. Puppy delivery.
Yeah, she loves being carried around inside of boxes and bags. Look, Kitty, she's drawing.
So, like, if you want to draw a side view and you want to make sure that your head isn't too long, I would literally just be like, okay, where the heck? Oh, that's why I'm drawing in white. I'll just be like, okay, you know what? This is gonna be the size of my head, and this is where my jaw has to end. Pretend that this is straight, and so that
You
way,
want to swip?
nah, it's fine. It's only a short one. That way I can draw my cranium, and I can be like, okay,
It's a
where it
little head,
ends.
yeah.
And I'm not going outside. I already have a boundary. So that way I'm not like, oh, I'm drawing the side view, but then I'm like, okay, I don't know exactly how far to end it, so what if my jaw ends up being like this long? Which, you know, is possible for some things, but that's what I have thoughts of. Anyways.
Well, you want to wrap up?
Yeah.
Switch.
Yep.
She got her hair in this box.
Yeah, she sure did. She was grooming in that box. So.
Yes, she loved it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, chat, thank you, everybody, for hanging out, showing up. We will actually be live tomorrow as well. We're going to be going over challenges and doing stuff.
I
hear
actually
practice.
saw a little surprise for you in the challenges, and it's super cute.
I'm excited about that.
Mm-hmm. Chopper, thank you for the follow.
Awesome. Thank you, everybody, for showing up. We'll be live tomorrow, hanging out and having a good time.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I need to go practice art.
And I need to make my video. I need to finish my video.
We will talk to you later, everybody. Thank you for showing up. Bye-bye.
Bye.
And we'll catch you later also, YouTube.
Mm-hmm. See you later.
Bye-bye.